see here. Who we got here? Who we got here? William. What's up, William? All right, man. You got some questions, man? Shoot it. Otherwise, I'm gonna be chilling. Let's see. Oh, lost William. All right, William. All right, cool, man. Cool.
Show you how to start from scratch.
Suwan, what is up? I should probably take that off. Yeah, that's better. That's better, right? Yeah. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, that's stupid. What's up, Suwan? Hey, tomorrow, tomorrow 12 to 3, Pan Pacific Park, if you free. That was a rhyme. Tomorrow 12 to 3, Pan Pacific Park, if you free. It's kind of rhyme. But yeah, if you free though. How you doing? Yeah. So that's a year. By a year, not too early. Perfect. Cool. Sounds good. Be good to see you. I think the last time I saw you was at Pan Pacific Park. And I dropped probably too much cash on that fundraiser. I was like, hey, shit, what am I? But it was good. It's for a good cause. What's up, Tim? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Hope you're still slanging bread. And I'm sure you are, what they call the bread, they call it bread maker. Hey, y'all, what's the name? You did. I know. I get carried away, man. I filled up the whole car with goodies, and I was just like, not a baker, artisan bread. Tim be making artisan bread. Yeah, he still hasn't never given me any bread. I was like, Tim, if you make bread, break bread, stop leaving me out. And still, I've known this dude for like 12 years, maybe 14. Still no bread. This man makes fresh, homemade bread, shares it with his family, and I still hasn't had any. But he did make me a burger, a homemade burger. So thank you for the homemade burger, Tim. Hope your family's doing well. I still want some bread when you freaking make it, because I feel left out, and I like homemade bread. I have butter ready, so next time you make some bread, right here, Tim. But good to see you, man. Glad you checked in. And Suwan, how's the comedy going, Suwan? How you feeling with the? Have you been able to like really feel like you got better this year with your comedy? Like all the Zoom shows, I feel like every comic took like a step back. Good working. Yeah, you find a way though, right? I think that's how it is. Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, like Franklin the same way. He's been finding a way to just keep trying to get better and work on the craft. So yeah, hats off to them to comics. I feel like we always you know it's always that feeling of being decent. Like it's never. I feel like if you feel great ever, then you full of shit. Like, I mean, it's like you should. I feel like comedy is like golf. It's like there is no perfection. It's just you always try. You can always have a better rhythm, better pace, better verbiage. You can always tune in to the audience better. Like it just comedy just never. There is no perfection, so you always like trying to, I guess, chase the what I don't know, chase something. But there is no. You're never there when it comes to comedy, no matter how good you are. I think that's why I'm always attracted to things that there is no, there. It's like if you do, like when it's business, it's like there's numbers. We got to hit these numbers. But it's like with art, it's like there is no. I can look at anything I write, anything I draw, any stage time, anything I've done, and I can always pick it apart and be like, that could have been way better, way better. Like there's no perfection, man. You can always pick things apart and put it back together and be like, still not right, still not right. Yeah, well, I mean, you also evolve though, because I feel like people don't understand how like you evolve. Like you could have went in. I remember like when I first moved to LA, it was I was just like, I'm gonna be an actor, and it's like, but I'm really just a storyteller. Like I love telling stories, so that energy comes out in any form of just being a storyteller, trying to be real and authentic, and also not freaking out because I don't know how to market, I don't know how to promote myself, and just let myself learn that. I feel like you still evolve as a human being and an artist, and you're always rediscovering what that means for you, and it kind of evolves every year depending on the situation and like this pandemic. But you did great. I know. I'm actually pretty. I haven't done 8 years and not know like I'm talented. So it's like, but it's not about being talented. It's just about where you feel. I don't know where you feel the most you. What do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah, if we're lucky. I don't know. Like, I think you mean. What's up? Good to see you. Haven't seen you since Chico. Oh man, welcome, welcome. Um, I don't think whether there's money attached to it or not. If you're lucky, we evolve. I think you always evolve. Like it's just like with comedy. Like one of my favorite things when I was hosting open mics, it was like I did it for about a 3-year stretch, and to see comics who weren't funny at all, like and to see them go from they can go like it was like 2 years and they just couldn't get one. I was a bad comic too. Every comic is crappy for at least 3 years. First 3 years, you buying laughs. Like you can't get it. Just one of my favorite places, the zoo. It was like I literally ate shit for like maybe 2 straight years, didn't get one laugh. And then like one night I go up, get into that rhythm early, and then it's like I get that first laugh and I just like giving it. And then it's like just 2 years in the making of getting that one set from the zoo. And I was like, God damn, that felt good. It's like it's better than any show I've done that I got paid for. It was like that was the one where I was like, because it took me 2 years just to get those laughs, and before that it was just backs. Like and that's the thing people don't understand with comedy. It's like a lot of times you be doing comedy, it's just you talking to back people's backs. Like if you saying jokes and all you doing is all you see is this, and it's like you might get this some shoulders, but that's about it. So I don't think people know what it's like to come up in dive bars and stuff. But that's what I mean by evolve. Like I think we are always evolving. Like because the human brain is always the plasticity of the brain. It's like your brain is always like growing. It's always like people don't understand is especially with mental health, it's like your brain does heal. And I don't think people understand that. It's like you're never, you don't have to ever stay stagnant or what you were before. So it's like if you pick anything and you stick with it, you're going to get better. For the most part, I have seen some people that don't get better in comedy, but for the most part, so I think you do evolve. And even as a person, man, it's like the stuff you used to be interested in, and it's like you just look at it. And that's not depression. You're just looking at it. It's like, I'm not into that anymore. I think I'm good. I think that's what this pandemic has been. It's like we had to reassess the things that we've just been doing. Just doing it out of tradition or doing it out of routine. It's like you can't stay eating, bruh. Oh man, I ain't seen you since I was doing the auditions at the Laugh Factory. What's up, man? But it's like I think we get stuck in routine even if it's not working, and it's that it's think. What's up, dog? Good seeing you, man. I hope you still finding ways to grub at these places. And you got to go to Goldenberg. I think it's in like South Central. There's still one left. I don't think it's the same as it used to be in like the 90s, but I hope it's still good. I got to go back myself. What was I saying though? Evolving? I don't know. Y'all got some questions? Shoot it. Because I forgot what I was saying. Legendary. Well, thank you, man. I like to think so. I appreciate that. Are you talking about Goldenberg? I just assume you're talking about both me and Goldenberg, because they chicken was legendary. All right, if y'all got some questions, man. So I'm not. I don't like rambling and hearing myself talk. I was saying, so I was making points. Oh shit. Time out. Political. I was in a meeting and I had a thought. One thing with politics and getting all that energy up to vote is as soon as you vote and get stuff passed, you forget about it. And with Measure J is like that, where you get where 10% of LA County budget is going to communities. I hope to God people track that money. Like make sure you track the money. Because one thing that happens, they let out this like, oh yeah, we got budget for this and we're gonna give X amount to the poor, and then everybody rejoices. Newspaper articles come out, you see it on social media, and everybody celebrates, and the money never makes it to the poor. So, or never makes it to developing and changing things. Because one thing about the money, it always goes to the same pockets. So it's like a river. So any money that's released, it just goes to the same people, and nothing changes. So even Measure J, if people don't stay on their ass, like Measure J, all that 10% is gonna go into the same pockets that all this money has been going to. So people need to make sure it goes to different people who've been in the streets and been working in the communities. So that's something that's like if y'all watch The Wire. If y'all watch The Wire, Isaiah Whitlock Jr. that played Clay Davis, that dude, it was like with him, that's how it is. It's like all these development deals when a bill passes, is people that's ready, and they're just like, and by the time it reaches the actual people, it's like $2 left. So it's like if people don't pay attention to that money, the voting was just one step. It was the beginning process to actually get it to the communities. So if you don't see no parks being built, if you don't see no roads, if you don't see no community centers being built, then you know that shit disappeared. You know that's going into somebody's mansion, somebody's new second home. Well, I mean, we just got it's like keep that same energy. Like there's so many groups and coalitions and organizations. It's like, are you really all people got to do now is just think of picking one organization that you most connect with, and then treat that as like one of your side jobs. Like, so your side job is to be with like change or to be with Justice LA. You know, it's like your job, your side, one of your jobs is to be a part of this organization. And that way it'll just help you kind of stay locked in so you're not dependent on yourself being so locked in. It's like you need a group, you need kind of some kind of something to hold you accountable, something where you don't get back into routine. Yeah, whatever, I'm talking whatever. Like if NAACP works for you, if ACLU works for you, whatever organization that you feel like they best represent you, and you click with them, then just ride out with that. That way you don't have to think too much of I feel like we make things so complicated, like we try to do it ourselves, that it helps to be a part of an organization that you can be down with. That way you're not stuck on the outside bubble, like what do I do? And then it's like, I do nothing. That's what happens is you stay outside of it and you just like, how do I help? How do I affect and be a part of government? And it's just this big complicated thing. And then you tune out. You like, that's too complicated, man. I'm good. I'm good on that. So, but yeah, that's a good one. Am I missing something? All right. Hey, you got a show coming up? How long I've been on here? Oh, what'd I do? Oh, yeah. All right. Cool. All right. So, what else? Oh, and another thing that happens is, there'll be like hey, we allocating like 90,000, or we allocating 45,000 for this new program that that's gonna help. After school programs are gonna help. What's a better example? Like there's been tons of housing projects, like where you go take a housing for poor people that's trying to get their first house. And there's been tons of those programs, and they'll have budgets, they'll get funding, and then but what people don't understand is you might see the number of like, yeah, they're gonna put 200,000 into this housing, teaching people how to buy house, first-time home buyers. They're gonna help them with financial assistance, but what people don't hear, the other part of it is the gauntlet that they're running you through, and they make it purposely so dense and so difficult where at the end of the day you don't end up getting a house. But on paper they can be like, look, we had 50 people sign up, and we did our part, but they just couldn't do it. Like, and that's the game that's played as well, where it's like you will see it's that continual like individual manipulate, like it's the individual's fault, where it's like if you really look at mothers and how hard they fight and how many jobs they work, and it's like and they see a program where it's like, I can get a house, and they bust their ass. And then by the end of like 6 months, somehow they get the paperwork doesn't go through, the something doesn't get signed, and then they don't get the house, and then they just have to keep it moving. But on paper, it looked like the program did the best they could, and that's one of those things where it's like it always dupes the people of color, but it makes the politicians able to be like, this is what we've done, blah 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 blah, and it didn't do shit. They just the money just disappeared. So, but yeah, that's so. There's a lot of people are learning about politics, man, and yeah. I mean, it is, but it's also we just gotta pay more attention because it's hard to do shit in the dark, you know. So it's like, in most, yeah, it is garbage. It's a lack of character. But it's like you talking about groomed politicians. Like, they've been taught to say shit on one end and then do something else on the other. It's like they're just well groomed. And most of them they gone to private schools. They went straight to the colleges. Like, they don't come from the streets. They don't come from most of them. And then the ones that get plucked to go up to the highest levels, they usually have no connection to the streets, like none. And that's why it's like when something goes wrong, all they do is fucking hide out. You know, they don't have town halls. They don't be like, I want to hear why you guys are so mad. I want to meet with you guys. I think the biggest thing with a politician, yeah, exactly. I feel like the biggest tall tale with a politician is, can they do a town hall? Can they meet with their constituents and look them in the eye? If they can't do that, they full of shit. And that's like the biggest, to me, it's like, if you're not regularly meeting or talking to your constituents, then there's something somebody filling your pockets with some dough. Like, you ain't really about the people, dude. Mitch McConnell. But yeah, it's like people like AOC, I feel like that's one of those, when you vote somebody in, it's like people should build around that person. So it's you hold everybody accountable. You even hold AOC accountable, and make sure she's doing why you voted her in. Make sure she's holding up her end of the bargain. But also, you pay attention to the people that are hell bent in making sure she looks like she's failing. And you have to battle that narrative, because one thing is masterful is the way you can make somebody's name toxic. And you see it time and time again. It's like, all you do is just hit their name with all these things and scandals and they're this and they're that. And then next thing you know, it's like when you just hear their name, you're like, ugh. And that's one of those things where it's like, if people aren't fighting, pushing back on that narrative, then that becomes reality. So you always have, and that's one thing I don't care, like Democrats, Republicans, they all have a horrible track record. So it's like, at the end of the day, I'm a native son. Like, I just try to see things as I see it and call it. But exactly. I'm not crazy about that woman. She human. She's have her own trail of things and stuff. I'm not gonna get into her story, but it's like, but the actually added on stuff, it was like, this is some drummed up shit. Yeah, exactly. It's like you're not crazy about any of these people for the most part, but it's like, but you can also see when things are exaggerated, where it's like all right, man, I ain't crazy about Hillary, but you make, like, I remember when she was running Super Predator Y. I don't know what that means, but I remember when Hillary, hey, explain that though. But I remember when Hillary was running, and I went to a Barnes and Noble, and the fucking whole thing up, like the whole shelf of books was all about Hillary's a criminal Hillary. I was like, who coordinated this where 20 books are all visually set up where all you see is Hillary Clinton as a criminal. I was like, that's some coordinated billionaire shit right there. And it's like billionaires fighting billionaires though, so I don't even. Yeah, I never let her. Yeah, man. I'm not crazy about Hillary, but as I'm saying, it goes back to that thing where I'm also see the exaggeration, where it's like there's a sense of like Obama where with the tan suit and shit. It's like how is this a story, man? Like the tan suit, really? That's the thing. Like you gonna go after the dude? And there's stuff like that where the propaganda machine is so powerful, you can make Obama's tan suit a big crazy thing, or he doesn't have a birth certificate. You can make that a story. Like that should never be a story. And just the idea that any of those things can be a story tells you that there's a powerful propaganda machine to make you focus on something that's stupid and have people go at it. I know. how that stacks up now is like, whoo, this is a doozy. Like this shit is just flood. Just, damn, this too. Fuck, shit. Oh, fuck. It's like it takes off your fucking hat. Like how much garbage is just coming out like right and left, and you just like, geez, shit. Like it's so much, and I think that's part of it too. Is with I feel like that's also why the GOP is let 45 have his tantrum and pretend like the ballots is whatever, and even his dude Barr was like, this ain't fraud, man. I want to toe the line with you. I've been doing it the whole time, but dude, this ain't fraud, dog. You just gotta take this L. And it's like it's just watch. And I feel like the GOP let that go on. Like they don't care about people's health, physically or mentally, so they just let that shit go because it helps them. It's like you can just let. I'm not crazy about Biden either, but if you can just let half the country believe that this is a fraud and let them go ape shit over that, it's like now you got something where no matter what Biden does in office, he's not gonna it's not gonna matter because he came out, and the thing is like they don't care, but I think Biden came out swinging too hard, man. Like because Biden came out and he was like this we got a vaccine that's coming out in this time. And it was like, oh shit, he's gonna look too good if he just come out with this vaccine. And then you got Trump having all this. They took the election shit. And then it's like, oh wait, if we let him cause this mania, cause this outcry, like not only like you can let him make his money and take from poor people that back him and they don't have money, but they'll send it to him. You can have that, and then that'll dirty up this coming administration before they even get in office. Half the country is going to tune them out because all they're going to see is this election was stolen, and then I set the tone for the next 4 years. So it is it's actually pretty smart. It's like let this dude do his thing, and that'll help us in the long run. Set the tone where we can retain half the country. Because if he just came in and vaccine and stimulus, it's like now they looking bad. So they have to let 45 run rampant and do his whatever that stuff was with that New York dude with the sweaty shit. What's his name? Giuliani or some shit. It's like that was scary. Like watching that, I was like, this dude, this dude's not healthy. Man, I think most of these people, they're not healthy, man. Like mentally, if you look at Giuliani, it's like how does anybody look at them and say this is a healthy bunch? right? It's like how? It's like you look at 45, you know that man's not healthy. You know that man's not mentally healthy, but nobody want to say that shit because it's like we can't. Dude, look at him. Listen to what he's saying, and you be like, "Oh, this dude isn't stable. He's not mentally fit. He's not healthy." Him and Giuliani. It's like look at them both side by side, and then you got Mitch coming up behind him like he's doing all the devious shit behind the scenes. None of those dudes are healthy. It's like you look at them, you really look at them, and Mitch, ugh. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, yeah. This is easier. I like it.
Well, I just figured, I was on there just typing and I was like, you know what? I could just talk to you.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. I'm with that.
Well,
Yeah.
well, you're right. Everything that you're saying, I mean, these GOP are so dirty
Mm.
and they just let it all happen.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. Trump doesn't care. He's not even a Republican, this is,
He was actually then he wasn't thinking about running as a Democrat, but it's like he wouldn't win, so he was like, I'll just be a Republican.
yeah. I mean,
Like he
he's just
don't
money.
he don't care. He's just like everything's a money grab. Everything's a money grab. Yeah. So it's like that's why I don't even call him racist. He's like because he don't care. He's like you can't. He has none of that. Is just like
Yeah.
where's the next money grab? Like
I do
that's
think he's racist, though.
what's up. I just think he's just not. I think there's just a disconnection between him and how he affects other people. Like he doesn't have a care. Like he doesn't have a like. Oh shit! If I do this, and that makes you, go do that. It's like what he's doing to the nation. Like how he's setting fire to white supremacy and just building. He's like he doesn't. There's no connection. There's no mental like. Oh, I did that.
Oh yeah, no.
Like I'm connected to this. It's like that doesn't play at all. So it's like that's the.
I think he just uses it. Everything is just for his use, right? And
Mm.
anything he could do to get the base going, anything to get people on his side, it doesn't matter how people are inflamed or not.
Yeah, and that's where it's at. Like, I feel like there's some people that need chaos to operate, and that's why everybody around them has to be driven to a certain level of instability. Because like even the people closest to him is like they have to be uncomfortable all the time, and he'll get them to do like off the wall stuff, and it's like just to prove their loyalty. Pretty much, he makes everybody kiss the ring, which is very. It's like, dude, you kissing that dude's ring? Like what you?
Like he's like the stuff that he said about their families.
Yeah.
Like Ted Cruz, Rubio, like. He has like diminished them into like these little ants. And then they come back, like you said, and they kiss, like literally kiss the ring. Like, oh yes.
Yes, I will kiss the ring. Yes.
It's so evil. They don't care. That's the thing. And then that's the other thing is they back up and then they also don't care. Like there's no soul.
Exactly. Like watching it's been just watching Lindsey Graham just flip flop and blow in the wind is like, and he still got voted in. Is like,
well, so like, how bad is he cheating? Like, if he could be,
well, I mean, they actually said like he told a member of like one of the government officials that he actually told somebody to lose some of the ballots. But it's like you can't hold these guys accountable because they are running the government. Right. And they won't hold each other accountable. So like so then it's like, well, what the fuck are we doing? Like, how's there any standards if nobody's holding anybody accountable? Then they're literally just lowering the bar. Like the GOP, who's supposed to be conservative and the religious high ground, is like they have no integrity as far as keeping a high standard.
They lost all morals.
Yeah. They traded in morals and they just like, you know what, here Trump, we want you to accomplish all the things we've ever wished for because you have no shame and we can just ride in behind you. But then they compromised because now you gave this dude your whole party, and it's like he's not gonna let that stuff go. He's not gonna let it go.
I don't even know how they're still operating like the same way. You know, like how they can still come back and kind of say like pretend like there's some kind of interest in like the deficit.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
They're still gonna do it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And like, because I think the truth is like most people are just asleep in general.
Uh-huh.
You know, like they get, like you said, like you started out this whole thing with like you got to keep accountable. You got to still go after like Measure J got passed, like you said, and how do we keep people held to this? Because like you see, you go to a protest and then everyone kind of goes back to sleep.
Yeah.
You know? Like, okay, we got our thing. And then, but like nothing actually got accomplished.
Mm-hmm. And that's
nobody's really paying attention, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And that's where it's at. It's like where it's you really gotta hold people to whether you voted them in or not, you gotta stay locked in. And it's like, and it has to be a daily routine of how do you go about keeping yourself locked in.
Yeah.
Because we know now you can't take your eyes off these people. Like they treat us like the kid and they're the adult, but really it's the opposite. It's like if you take your eyes off them, they're gonna wreak havoc. They're gonna keep trying to. How do we get more money to the top? Like they treat it like it's an equation. Like, can we get more from the working class? How can we squeeze just some more drops out of?
Well, and then this is the amazing thing that they've managed to do is they've managed to get. I mean, it's like the classic thing in history where they all the working class white people mad at people of color who just want like right.
Yeah.
Like
that's and I had a little moment where I was a little sad at that because it's like not sad but just disturbed because it's like I saw it coming. And it was just replay. Like they don't switch anything up. They just play the same record because it always works. It's like and part of it is like even the clips is like they were able to just no matter the numbers, no matter 93% of the protests were peaceful, it doesn't matter. It's like they pulled it off where they showed enough images because burning buildings are stronger than people peacefully marching. So if you just keep playing, keep playing the burning buildings, like that's all people are going to see. And there's people that want to look away. Yeah. So it's like, so you give them that and they're like, thank you, God, I can look away and I can pretend like
they can just,
I can pretend again.
It's just like right away when things started with the protesting and then you got like the people on the right saying, but the riots. And you know, that's like the code word right there for their racism. I'm sorry, that's just what it was. Because like they were looking for the riots.
They were looking for it. I'll tell you this, like it's in March, like I went to something in Palmdale, and that's when the pictures of big pickup trucks with nooses on the back were popping up, but nothing had there was nothing violent, nothing had happened yet. So it's like they really couldn't do anything but ride around town with nooses. So it's like racism was there, but they couldn't really be just like out like that. And then as soon as like some major incidents happened, like in Oregon, the Umbrella Man burning down stuff, and it's like as soon as those things start popping off, and they could use those moments, now they could transfer that to like, oh yeah, we're just patriots. That's why we're going against Black Lives Matter. We're patriots. And it's like, and then those nooses on the back of the truck turn into American flags and 45 flags. And it's like, dude, you just had nooses on your truck and now they're American flags. It's like, that's actually a metaphor for America. It's like people, like the racist part of America hides behind an American flag. And it's like,
dude. Like I have a joke. I started making jokes about that because they use it for their brand. You know? And how is it that they can take over the branding? Like they just took it. Yeah. You know, it's like, but then see, like there's a lot of people that are just asleep for most of the things. And like, they're good people, a lot of them, you know, there's tons of really good people that just, like you said, they're looking away. They don't want to face all this stuff. It's easier to not face it.
Yeah, well, I also think it's like this is a well-oiled, clunky ass machine where it's like we're part of being overworked in this 9 to 5 that was created ancient times of like what, Ford assembly lines or something.
Yes.
As like, so you create this prehistoric you create this old ass version of work life, and then you just keep people overworked and keep them overspending, and it's like
too.
They're stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
they're
it's like
overspending. They want relief, like having a drink or
exactly
turning on TV.
Yeah,
and then they just want to. It's easier to blame someone who doesn't look like them.
Exactly.
If they're white,
well, they're worn out. Like, because even if you're a person of color or working class, like white person in the rural areas, like you're working your ass off. You probably don't have a great diet, like because you're tired and you just go into a local fast food spot, and then you come home, you watch ESPN or something. It's like you get into that routine, and then you're just like, government, they just do whatever they're gonna do anyway. And it's like, and that's exactly what they want. As soon as you tune out, as soon as you because you're overworked, you're too tired to really pay attention. That then they just keep it going, and that's when they do that. Like, how much more can we get from them? And then when you do realize, like, yo, my insurance, I gotta go get a GoFundMe to pay this bill, get this surgery. Now it's your fault.
Yeah,
like, that's when it's individualized. Whereas like, well, you should know you should get insurance before you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like the insurance is horrible. Like our insurance is atrocious.
Well, and this is like another thing too. Like, this is like Trump's been trying to get rid of insurance the whole time with no replacement plan.
Yeah.
And people that don't have any money want to vote for that. Like even that, like that's all part of the scam, you know. Like, oh, we don't want socialism.
Yeah.
Do you want your kids to the doctor? Like, what?
Yeah.
You know,
well, that's part of. If you just say something, I think 45 said it himself. If you just say something over and over again, then at some point it'll stick, and that's kind of like the whole. Like, once you actually go into like behind the scenes, it's like, oh, y'all don't have shit. Like, that's pretty much why the CARE Act hasn't been repealed, because they don't actually have a replacement.
Right.
Like, because you think about it, like you if you have the presidency and if you had the Senate for the last 4 years, like you could have replaced it with something else if you really had the plan.
Yes.
But they don't. They just, it's like it's just like, how can we get enough more and more from the working class?
I know. It's like it's like certain things are so basic, and then the people couldn't even wrap themselves around it, and then instead they went bigger into like they just started calling it socialism. But like, what about your health care? You know, you know, like these guys in my neighborhood, these Trump guys were like screaming about socialism and stuff, and I'm like, are you happy with your own health care? Like, what the fuck are you even saying? Do you like I know this Republican dude, he goes to get money from the government for his daughter because she has arthritis, and she's young. Like, she started having arthritis as a 6-year-old, and he doesn't want socialism. But do you know that you are getting money from the government? So is that not socialism that you're talking about? You know,
and that's the thing. It's like that's where the power of making a word, like, this is masterful to make a word toxic. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's just a fucking word. So it's like, and it makes you, it's like at some point you just look up the word.
Yes.
Like, even myself was like, I'm not gonna put more more mustard on something that needs to be. It's like I'm not gonna toxify capitalism. I'm not gonna make no, you know. It's like I'm not gonna take these words and make them toxic. It's like no, this is a fucking word. And it's like, but what they do is they don't want you to look past anything that could threaten what they already have. And it's like, so they don't want people to think critically and be like, wait a minute, what parts of capitalism isn't working? It's like with China, it's like they didn't just come out of nowhere and become who they are now. It's like that took years. It's like because they went through 100 years where they were agriculture and they weren't making anything, and then they were kind of I think they called it like I forgot what they called it, but something about like a laughing 100 years or some. I'll look it up, but it's like they went 100 years without really doing anything, and then they started like, yo, we got to learn. So they started sending their people out to the best colleges. And then they were like, what if they don't come back? We're like, well, we get like 3 coming back. That's, you know, we get even any of them coming back, then that'll help us. And it's like, we don't allow for that. Like we have such pride and kind of delusion. Where it's like, yo, we could just learn from other countries who have figured certain things out. It doesn't take away from us. You know, it's like, it doesn't make us less. Like China uses capitalist. They borrow capitalism, parts of it, to strengthen their economy. So it's like, so why wouldn't we go and learn and figure out ways where we could improve our system from other countries who have figured it out? It's like homelessness. It's like there's other countries who have a good handle on it, and they do way better on us. It's like, why wouldn't we learn from them? Why wouldn't we improve on that? It doesn't make, and that's where it goes to where I'm like, everything is hell bent on keeping the money flowing in the same directions, and nobody wants to change that. Nobody wants to. Is like the people that have been eating, nobody wants to take a step back. So so it's like, all right, I'm gonna do everything I can, like when that passed bill where Uber, Lyft, and them pay like $200 million to buy that whole thing.
I don't even know what happened.
Oh, okay, but it's that kind of thing where if money, it's the oligarchy. It's like money is buying the bills. So and that's why it's like if money isn't taken out of elections, like if this administration, one of the primary goals should be taking money out. Because how many, like, just, I don't care, Democrat, Republican, whatever. It's just like, how much money have we all donated to these?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's just colossal waste. If all that money could have been taken for like homelessness, like what you're saying, or education.
How broke are we as a nation? And we just spent the most money on an election ever.
Yes.
And we're fucking broke. It's like that's how twisted, that's how messed up our system is, where we have all these fundraisers and donate to Senator such and such, donate to such and to win such and it's like, yo, we broke.
Yeah. But still all that, I mean, well, that's the thing, like that. See, this is why I like Bernie, because he wanted to do something about elections, right? And take money out of there. But I don't know if Biden's gonna do that. Or
and that's the thing is like, and Republicans are great at making it sound like they lost. They didn't lose. Biden is a centralist. You know, he's corporate, he's centralist. He's been in forever. He's vanilla. Yes, like, they didn't lose at all.
Obama was similar, you know, like a centrist.
Exactly. Obama tried so hard to work with. Is like, I understand a lot of people aren't crazy about Obama because he wanted to work. I want to work with him. I want to work. Then they's like, dude, we don't fuck with you, dog. Like, hey, Tea Party, come here, man. Let's just block this dude out. Make sure nothing passes.
Totally.
Yeah, and it's like, so part of it, I see why people are like, man, Trump, because he doesn't give a fuck. So that part of that is stimulating, because you see a dude and he like, I don't give a fuck. You know, it's that machismo, man. It's that macho-ness. Is like, I don't give a this. It's something about that where you and I feel like that's where you get the Democrats are soft thing.
Yes.
Where it's like, because it's kind of like good cop, bad cop. Where it's like, y'all both cops, man. It's like yeah, y'all both cops. What we doing? I see what y'all doing, man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like we getting played. We getting played.
Yes.
And it's like,
they're both cops.
Yeah, it's like the Republicans are just giving it to us, and then fucking Democrats are, are you all right? Oh, it's like, wait.
So
You should be punching back. Like, why are you letting them just go to town on us? Like, fight them too. And it's it's tricky because you watch the corporate and the more centralist Democrats, and they will do their best to get like people like AOC out. Like, they will do their best to get people that are really about the community, and that's very telling. It's like, why are you trying so hard to get AOC out?
For sure.
Like, that's tricky. You know, it's like, okay, I see you what you're doing. It's like, you're trying to stay, you're just playing a good cop.
Yeah.
Like, you want to toe the line.
Kamala too, right? I mean, hopefully, I don't know how much better that she's going to be either. Like,
well, I think people got to remember she's a DA.
Right.
So if you're talking about criminal justice reform, like, just remember she's a DA. Like, she's groomed.
Top cop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's groomed. So it's like, you're not just gonna forget all that grooming and all that, like, that history of being a DA all of a sudden. Right. Be like, I want, it's like, no, man. Like, this is a very kind of vanilla party. They're diverse in like melanin, but but are they really putting people in that's about that life? Like, I haven't seen Bernie get a seat. I haven't seen, there's an indigenous woman. I'm still waiting to see what happens with her. And I'm like, what?
Well, I heard something about, like, there's some diversity on like the second or third tier levels of the cabinet, but on the top tiers so far they're still talking about white males.
Exactly. And that's where I'm feeling like the communications team or something is diverse. And that's why that's what I'm saying. It's like, there's such a pageantry that goes on. And it's like, so it's like, look at our communications. Look at our communications. And it's like, we talking about communications.
Yeah.
It's great. You got diverse communication. But what about where the seats? Like, are you gonna get the indigenous woman from New Mexico? Are you gonna give her put her in a rightful seat? Are you gonna get a real, like, a Bernie Sanders person, like, in the seat? It's like, are they all gonna be Democratic centralists? Like, are you gonna have diversity of ideology? Or are you just gonna pretend and have diversity of melanin?
Yeah,
because at this point we need diversity of ideology, not just melanin.
Right.
So that's, and you can just see the game that it plays. Like, look at us, we diverse.
Well, and like a lot of these ex-Republicans that, there's that Lincoln Project. A lot of those guys that used to be Republicans, but now they're, centrist. They're excited about Biden because they're like, oh, this guy's going to be our guy. Because they, of course, he's what they've been asking for.
Exactly.
They're still the same. They're still those old rules that people are not going to get. People are still going to get fucked.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is like, people, I didn't celebrate when Biden won.
No.
Like, I actually took a class. Like, I didn't feel, it's like, all right, that was a relief, but I'm just taking a class. Like, it's, it's like, all right, let me just go into this workshop and do this, because it's next thing. Like,
yeah, I mean, I was thrilled.
Not, I'm saying it was a relief, but now I know what's coming next. Like, it's like, it's Biden and Kamala Harris, who's a previous DA.
Yeah.
It's like, so not much is, and then you have Biden is trying to do a rerun of Obama's administration. So it's like, well,
yeah.
Obama did nothing for criminal justice reform, really. So it's like,
and he was super easy on
yeah.
gun control, and then also he so many people got deported. I think more than a lot.
He was actually, he broke a record for how many people he deported.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm not
more than Bush.
Yeah.
More than Bush.
So and that's the thing is even with that, it's like you got DACA that we look at, but then behind DACA, and I hear like the argument was he deported more people that had any kind of previous records or criminal records, and so he went hard on them so he could protect DACA. It's like, right. So I've heard that argument, and I haven't read enough to know the how that weighs and how real that is either way. But either way, it's like you got the drone strikes, you got the, it's like even Obama and not really going against the GOP. And I feel like there's still no real, you have the GOP punching and then you just have the Democrats still doing this. Yes. And it's like, and there's still no real like, no, man, we're going to go head up with you. I'm tired of your shit. You don't have moral high ground. You're full of shit. You whiff wop. You flip flop. You have no moral. It's like you don't have character. And it's like, it's interesting to see how focused Democrats are about anybody that is about that.
Yeah. He hated Bernie, right? Because he
hated Bernie, goes against, like, they try to, they hope AOC will at least, like, they hope she won't go as far. It's like their dream is to get progressive, the 4 or 5 progressives, quarantine them, and then just try to get them out the way so everything can stay as it is. And that's where the fight is. Like, that goes to one of my points where it's like, so you put your people in, like the grassroots, and you put real people in that are going to listen to their constituents, but then you got to not only keep them in, but you got to identify other grassroots leaders and then get them in. So it's kind of like you're pushing, like, all right, you're in, and then you're in, and then you're trying to keep them all in, because you got billionaires trying to get them out, and they're gonna. And the thing is, I feel like sensible people, good people, it's easier to get rid of them with a scandal, because they have shame. So it's like, so if you show something like they did this, and then I did do that, and I will step down and leave my seat. And it's like, that's how and that's how the GOP works. It's like, because they don't, all the shit they do and all the shit they've done is like, and none of them step down.
They don't have shit. Like what you said. Like, so this is, you know what? Like, we're talking about, like, I mean, I'm assuming Al Franken is one example.
Hey,
right?
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
But
yeah,
he was such a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he squeezed some waists.
Yeah.
Like, that was his big scandal, is that he put his arm around a girl's waist.
And he has shame. So he was like, you know what? I did it. I'm sorry, and I will step out of my seat.
And then that fake boob thing, to me, that was like such an obvious comedy gag, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was like, those two were climbing up on each other all the time. There were so many pictures of that chick, like, dry humping him, you know?
But I'm not, and this thing is like, one of the things that happens is you start zeroing in on the degree of how wrong it was, and then you debate about that, and then you forget about there was degrees of wrong, and he has to own up to anything he did that's wrong. But then you look at the 45 and this whole entire GOP. And you're like, oh wait, what the fuck are we doing? Why are we focusing? And that's what's masterful is, like, they can take all your focus and bring it zero into Obama's tan suit, They can take it. You know, it's like they can just take all your focus and then
Yeah.
put it on bullshit. And then while they do all this dirt and strengthen their corporate interests, it's like it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Like you said, they don't have any shame.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, like a Democrat is like slightly embarrassed about something that has like no significance.
Exactly.
And you're like, yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And then like all of a sudden now you're like, yeah, you suck.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly. And that's why I feel like moving forward, and it's like, no, you want people to own up to their shit no matter who they are. But it's like also not let the bullshit be the story. Like, I mean, I remember somebody told me, I don't know specifically, but somebody told me something that they tried to put on AOC or something, and she was like, yeah, I was young, whatever.
Yes.
And it's like, that's how you have to be. It's like,
yeah,
fuck that.
Yes.
Don't step down. Don't give no ground. Fuck that.
She was so tough. I forget what it was. I remember exactly. Or I think they were trying to make fun of her for wearing hoops even. And she was like, nope.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. And that is exactly like the Democrats need to take that kind of like take a clue.
Yes. And that's where I'm like, I feel, to me, it's like Stacey Abrams or AOC is like, they should be the one setting the tone.
Yeah.
Like Dianne Feinstein, like, where's she at? You know, it's like, what are we doing?
Well, she's almost on her way out anyways.
No, she got 6 years, I think.
Wait, I thought she was stepping aside. What?
No, Nancy Pelosi is stepping aside.
Oh, Pelosi, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Dianne Feinstein, I think she's gonna try to stay in that next 6.
Is she? No,
I might be wrong, but I think she's putting in a hot 6. Yeah, I'm about to drop a hot 6. Yeah. I'm Dianne Feinstein, dropping hot 6s. But yeah, it's like, and that's the thing is, and that's why I feel like all the grassroots and the young kids, and I love to see people that have values, like get out of the churches and get into office, like that Warnock, what's his name, Warnock or something? I forgot how to say his name. But it's like, it's people not being so passive about getting involved. It's like, because a lot of times you're like, oh man, I know they're doing bad, but we're gonna pray for them and hope things change. And things never change. It's just like, because you have to do the changing, because it's like, if you're the person or the group that knows you're about the people and you prove it by the work you do, is like, then those because I remember being younger, and it's always about being passive, you know, just praying for things to be better. And it's like, I feel like you take prayer and take meditation, and then it's like, all right, what action am I taking after this prayer and meditation? I'm gonna pray for a clear action. And it's like, if people want to, you know, use MLK all day and all of his quotes, it's like, also use his practice. Like, he was a Christian, you know, but he actually practiced. He prayed, he preached, and then he went out and went against the system.
Yeah, he was out.
And I think a lot of preachers now, a lot of spiritual leaders, a lot of motivational speakers, it's all about, like, just do the best you can do, and don't, you know, it's like, you're just do this, and it's like, nah, man, what are you talking about? Like, no, I'm not just gonna pray on it. No, man.
Yeah, it just, right now there just needs to be way more than self-focus.
Exactly.
Because like, it doesn't, like, look at the protests make an impact because there are so many people out on the streets so regularly, you know. We just all just went away, then it doesn't, it's like, okay, you know. Doesn't work. Everybody kind of needs to be a little more involved. Yeah,
well, but that's also where it does, I'll say, in that regard, it does come down to the individual, because I feel like cynicism doesn't do shit.
Right.
So to me, cynicism is passive as fuck. And it's just a like, what do you? How's that serving anything? Like, you're
Yeah.
just gonna be cynical. We can't do anything with that.
Right.
Like, it's not currency. It's not. It doesn't lead a march. It doesn't figure out the solutions to these problems. It doesn't get somebody in office. It doesn't get somebody out of office. It's like you just,
Yeah.
it's just nothing. It does nothing. It's very passive. It's like
It's
you're
or something, you know.
cynicism is just being on the couch watching TV. Like
Yeah.
that's the value of cynicism.
Right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's I think this year is still it's a positive as far as how much and how many organizations have formed and what's there's so much that's happening on all levels that it is motivational. Like it is something where it's like, okay, we can build off this.
Yeah. Oh.
So, and now so how have you found any organizations that you like? Because you work a full-time job.
Yeah. I have a lot of stuff I'm doing, but well, I do get like the emails from Change and from NAACP. I support them. I give them money. Other stuff, it's just kind of been random, like
that's how I've been too. Yeah. I mean,
but I feel with NAACP, it's so solid that I'm like, all right, that's like at least ACLU too. I mean, but
yeah. Okay. I think
try to support him. If Bernie says something like you need to support this, then sometimes I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I love Bernie because it's like you will see every picture in every decade. He's always been the same dude.
He's like, a from the beginning.
I've never seen another politician so consistent. God. Like every picture, and that's another reason why it's like I don't. Both parties are both cops. It's good cop bad. It's like both parties because it's like the Democrats did shady stuff to make sure he wouldn't make it.
Oh, for sure.
Like they screwed him. So it's like, why am I going to now all of a sudden forget that? Because it's the same people that screwed him that's still running shit behind the scenes.
Right.
So it's like, so y'all not, your hands ain't clean. So it's one of those things where I'm just like, all right, I need to identify people I feel good about and ride with them, and then identify people coming up that I feel good about.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these career politicians, no matter what tie they wear, it's like they full of shit. They full of shit. And maybe they didn't start that way, and then they just got like doled out as the years went on. Yeah. It's human. It happens. And I feel that with I feel bad because I was talking with Nancy Pelosi and I was like, oh yeah, Nancy, she's just like Mitch. And then one of my elders like kind of checked me, and they were like, yo, she's been in office for how many decades, and we worked our ass off to put her in office when it was just white men.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, that's true. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, can you imagine being in office for, whatever money and whatever she's collecting and corporate and all that kind of stuff, but just being a woman decades ago, 74 or something, 75, in that time.
Yeah.
And just being in a room with all stale, funky white dudes, it's like just,
the lead tough, like.
Yeah. It's like so part of it, I'm just like, all right, I can see how that would take its toll on you to be in that kind of environment. Because even if I'm in that environment, that's gonna have an effect on me. If I'm in that environment for 40 years, that's gonna do something to my mind.
Oh, for sure.
And because they're masters at manipulating and psychology. It's like these dudes study. These dudes know how to play the game. They know how to manipulate the Constitution. So it's like, and you're gonna be in a room with them for 40 years, 40 plus years. It's like, I get it. There's gonna be some mental fatigue.
And you're gonna play the way that they play too.
Exactly. And that's another thing with politicians. Like they're gonna make sure you get pulled into the swamp.
Yeah.
Like they don't want you to stay clean, because if you stay clean, you show how dirty they are.
Well, that's why they don't like Bernie, right? That's like the
Hmm.
thing. And
He's
like,
every candidate like that is dangerous.
I have so many, well, not a ton, but I have a good amount of friends, you know, that are gay, that are lesbians, that are like, they say stuff like Bernie's a misogynist and they don't like him.
Yes.
And they, yeah, and they really, because they were so strong Hillary supporters,
Mm.
whatever kind of script they had going,
Mm.
like they believed it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
A lot. I mean,
yeah.
and like a lot of these gals, they don't even know each other. They're just like,
Mm.
Bernie's a misogynist, and they were all saying that. And then,
Yeah.
like, well, where's the evidence? And not only that, AOC is like backing him up. I don't
Mm.
feel like she's just gonna back up random misogynists. Like she's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
spell that out.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of I feel like that's why you don't get too much into one candidate. Like even Obama, when he got elected, is like he's a dude, man. Like
Yeah,
stop putting so much on these people. Like they're just people.
right.
And it's like you get too enwrapped with them, and oh, it's like stop.
Yeah.
They're people, and it's like even Bernie is like he's a dude. He's trying to figure out life just like all of us are.
I gave Obama some extra credit though, because at
Mm-hmm.
least like he didn't vote for the Iraq War.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which Biden did,
Mm-hmm.
Hillary did,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they both did twice, I think.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Oh
Obama,
man,
yeah, you know, and
Hillary and Biden, like they are the perfect example of what is the consensus of the public. Okay, this is where we're going. This is what direction we're going in. It's
so
like,
that's that super predator thing that
mm,
you,
what does that mean?
so it's pretty bad.
Oh
Back
shit.
Yeah, back in the 80s, I
Mm,
think Biden, it was either Biden or Hillary that started it.
mm.
And it was a thing, it was a racist thing that they
Oh
all
yeah, 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 yeah. I
committed,
remember that.
and they got a lot of white people in the suburbs
Mm,
afraid, because they would say these people are not just criminals, they're super predators.
mm,
And
mm.
it was the whole thing, it was against black people.
It's always yeah. I remember that because I was watching somewhere. It's like that's what they've always used that super predator thing with black males,
Yes.
and it's like it works. It's like you just press that button, and that's where it's like
That's that toxic word thing that you were talking about.
exactly, and that's where I was disappointed. Where it's like, oh man, they just used the war on drugs again. Like they just used the law and order. I was
Yeah.
hoping that I was like, this cannot work again, and it worked again.
Well, it works because especially that word is like such a fascist.
Yeah.
That works for like the people that are want to follow and get in line, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Works for the people that are like, I'm just gonna. I like the like they like. It's weird how some people like fascism, right? It's weird.
Man, I was studying like where um, there are people who actually want dictators, want fascism. You know, it's like
Yeah,
every kind of system. I mean, it makes sense though. It's like every kind of system. There are people's like their personality. They're like, oh yeah, I do. I like that. They might not say it, but it's like I like that.
they
And
want to be told what to do.
yeah, so it's like so you also are dealing with that where they don't. You know, it's like there's people where like say with Black America, it's like they're so diverse and there's so many different point of views. Whereas like some people don't have no desire to change the system or criminal justice reform. They don't care,
Right.
and then that's it's like that's just reality. Um, and it's part of that where it's like okay, uh, what's the reality of where the general public stand, and that's where you have to kind of disconnect from the media and figure out like what's the actual numbers though, because they'll make you believe something, but the actual general public is like, no, I'm down with this,
Yeah.
and then that's how that's how they keep things where they're at is like. Uh, raising the minimum wage in Florida, they're voting against Biden and Harris, like, oh, socialism, socialism, but then they're down for raising the minimum wage. So it's like, you guys know you want the thing that the people that you're voting against, like,
right.
You want what they're doing, but you don't want the people that's connected to what they're doing. But the people that you're voting for don't want to do that.
Yeah,
it's a living contradiction that's been created. So it's like, it's tricky. It's tricky, and you have to kind of, and that's why I feel like the tactic is always to just confuse everything, and then to put disinformation and just make people tune out. If you can confuse people enough, they will tune out, and they'll be like, you know what, fuck it, I don't care, I'm just gonna live my life. And it's like, that's what you want.
And they're not living their lives because
I know,
they're gonna get super fucked.
Gonna get super fucked. At some point, you're gonna have a health crisis. Your loved one's gonna have a health crisis, and then and then it's like, by the time you have that and you need the services, you're fucked.
That's it.
Yeah.
Is it like, by the time you figure out that you've been fucked over individually, it's too late.
Yeah.
And then you're like literally dead, like you're literally on your deathbed. You're down to nothing.
Yeah. Like I've been in rooms where people died horrible. Like where it's like, you should get better care, and seeing like the fear in their face, and it's like, it's hard, because it's like, it shouldn't be like this, but it is what, it's like, that's the time, like, you can't change that. Well, it's like, but what you can do is, all right, I see this, I got to be a part of not letting the next generation go through this, like, die like this.
It's even like school shootings, right? It's like when a school shooting happens, like, what's that called? It's like, then all of a sudden there's a big thing about gun control, but nothing has gotten done. Things happened, but you want to be part of like making the system better. But then, like, if you're on Twitter and then, you just see like all these Republicans coming after these kids, like David Hogg, who was a high school kid. And I know. They just come after him like he's a politician actor. They were even calling him, they would even diminish him by calling him an actor. Well,
that's the thing is they'll term something negative, attach it to the person, and then make it until the dust settles. Like their thing is, a shooting happened, people are like, yo, we need to change stuff. And then they come in and be like, and start focusing on the people, the individual people, and hammering, just like blah, blah, blah. And they're this and they're the actor. And it's like, what the fuck they got to do with people dying?
Right.
And it's like, this is wacky. It's like, we talking about death. We're not talking about this kid and him being an actor or not. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. These are like kids that are in school.
Yeah.
They don't want to change that.
Yeah. And their life has changed forever.
Yeah.
Like, forever. And that's where it gets disturbing, because like, you rather go at this kid rather than just sit down and figure this shit out and make the changes that are necessary. But you rather do the fear mongering, and they're going to take your rights and some blah, blah, blah. And it's like, stop, man. Let's just figure the shit out. Like, you don't have to do that. Like nobody, the rights are going to be the rights, but you can make changes that are healthy for the nation. And that's where it just gets, you kind of just get, I don't want to say disappointed is not a strong enough word, but it's just like, how do you live with this? How do you look in the mirror and be like, you know what? I just want things to stay the same so profits stay where they need to be. Because every time somebody says take your gun rights, like, gun sales shoot up.
Yes.
So it's like, as soon as it's like when you want to get profits, you just say that, press that button, and then sales would go through the roof.
That's like, there needs to be someone who's like some kind of marketing genius that goes left, because I feel like the right wing, like the GOP, totally has that down.
Oh yeah,
You know, all the people with gun sales, like you're saying, it all went up with Obama.
Mm-hmm.
And Obama was super liberal. I mean, to their side, to the conservative side on guns. And then, but they had all like the words that said like, "Oh, Obama's going to take your guns," which he never did.
Never tried to.
Never.
And he wasn't. He did never even intended. Like that wasn't even in his head. You know, it's like that's how powerful that is. Where like they can create a story, they can create something that isn't there. You know, it's like, how are you? This dude has never talked about taking guns. Like, where is this coming from?
And they would say it, like you'd hear these guys saying it, and then later on, tell them like, no, actually, Obama was like, you know, all on your side. You guys got everything. That was true. It's like, well, you fucking look it up. It's not that hard.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is it's the motto of you just say something over and over and over and over again until it sticks. So if you say Obama's taking your guns and you say that 50 times, like if we're meeting and every time you saw me, I just say Obama taking your guns, Obama taking your guns, Obama taking your guns. It's an affirmation. And the next thing you know, it's like, now you think Obama taking my guns, Obama taking my guns. It's like that's how it is. Like you just they come up with a term and they stay on message and they just hammer it.
Their own news media that say the same things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other weird thing is like there used to be a law that you can't publicly lie like that, and now it looks and it's isn't that part of like Citizens United that they made corporations people?
I know that's a thing, but I don't know about the law about not lying in public. I wish that was a law.
Well, no, I think it's somehow related that corporations.
Well, I know that, like that, yeah, definitely. Like
but
that.
Like that is related to corporations being able to lie. Like, you know how like you used to be able to say like you can't yell like fire in a crowded theater.
Yeah.
Because there's some kind of like public accountability. I think somehow the Citizens United law is connected to that. Like where now it's like you could just say it and there's nobody accountable. Like it's not just lying in public, but it's like lying to a deficit or something like that. I feel like I need to know how it's connected because someone needs to get rid of that. You know?
Yeah. Well, Citizens United, like that needs to go.
I think it's related somehow to like the way like years ago it would have been illegal for like Fox News to exist because like you can't just say false shit.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting how was it, I think Tucker Carlson or something, like somebody, there was he went to court for spreading misinformation or something.
Did he?
And then Fox News actually used the argument that people know what he said isn't real. You know, it's like something like that. Like they use that as their case to get him off.
This sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like what you're saying that people know what he's saying isn't true, already, but people believe it's true. It's like now, and then in my head, I'm like, what? How did they find the right judge to be like, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah. Like my mind always goes to the judge.
Yeah.
Like, okay, they found the right judge. I would let that off the hook because nobody, if you watch Fox News, you know people believe everything that's said on Fox News. Like 60% of Republicans believe everything Fox News says.
Yeah. You know?
So it's like, so you know, so it's like that, be able to use that argument to get off is like, all right, what judge you got?
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important for that they pack, like the GOP. That's why Mitch been so focused on packing the judges and the lower courts, because like we're gonna see judgments over the next few years. We're gonna be like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
like, because they pack the judges. They pack the judges, you know. And it's like, and even that is smart because you have, if they're already there's always a sense of being first to the punch. Like, so if you create this groundswell of all Democrats want to do is pack the judges. That's what they're going to do. They're going to pack the judges. They're going to pack the judges. And now the Democrats have to push back. Like, no, we're not going to pack the judges. Or then they avoid it. And they're like, aren't you going to pack the judges? And they won't answer it. It's like, are you going to pack the judges? And now, so now they're trying to like, no, we're not packing the judges. But then while they're saying that, they are packing the judges.
Yes.
So it's like it's brilliant. That's why I say it's like, I feel like with the Democrats, that's why people call them soft, because like, you guys get played, and part of it also is how much of that is part of the game, where you're letting them play that, because how are you that smart, but you constantly let them throw the first blow? You know, it's like, you're that smart, you're letting them play you like that.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
No, you're right.
So part of it is like, okay, they're doing that, but you're also the whole party doesn't see that coming. It doesn't see how they're playing. Right. So that's where it's like the two-party system is very suspicious, you know. And that's where it's like, I don't like the conspiracy wackiness that we can go to, so I try to keep it where are my sources I trust. Let's stay, you know, it's like, because if you get too in reading everything and then getting into that echo chamber, whatever echo chamber you end up in, is like it's now you're not in service on any side. You're not on any side. You're just in the wacky world. That's true. Like, so I try to have balanced sources that are from different, like two of them aren't even from this country, and then like the other two I trust them, you know, like classic like NPR, and I love Economist. It's
Here, do you know this website? I'm gonna type it down because this is a really good website. No one's even on here except for us, anyways.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ref Desk.
Yeah, it's good because it's a source that when you just go onto that website, it's super basic, but then it's real easy on the right side of the website. You can easily skip to like Reuters and BBC World.
Reuters, yeah.
And AP, and you can see all the news organizations like that. You don't have to like type in a whole bunch of
that's dope. Okay. Yeah. And that's where it's I feel like if people want to, sometimes you want, like, I have a friend that wants this conspiracy theory, like that's he kind of likes it. He gets, you know, that's his thing. And he even said that, he's like, man, it's just how I think, man. I just like, you know, he's honest about it. That's why I love him. He's like, he's lovable, man. He's like, I just like conspiracy theories. But it's like, if you want to just stay on track or stay kind of focused and try to like, all right, what needs to happen and who's really doing the dirt and who's just people are pretending like they're doing dirt. It's like, if you read the quality news sources are out there, they're right in front of you. So it's like, so really, if people are choosing to be ignorant by continuing, because I don't even really mess with MSNBC or something. Yeah. I don't watch them really. Like, I'll see somebody post something and I'm like, oh, what's that? But it's like MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News. Fox News is the worst. Yeah. But those three, I don't really do too much looking at them at all.
I like MSNBC because I like Rachel and I like Lawrence. But Rachel was super biased during the whole Hillary thing back before, you know, in the other election for Bernie. Rachel was part of that fucking up.
And that's the thing is, like, that's why I like the world news approach better. Yeah. So I like other countries looking at us and seeing us from like afar. Yeah. And it feels like it gives me a better perspective of how we're doing. Like if you didn't look at outside the country and you're just walking around, you would think we're not doing that bad with the pandemic. But it's like, but then you start looking at other countries and you see how far they've come in a year and you see where we're at. And you're like, oh, we're horrible. Yeah. We've done horrible. Like our government is proven to be incompetent when it comes to this.
Well, like even like South Korea did so well, you know, they
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
good. They got it under control.
Mm-hmm.
And well, those people are, I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying this based on my limited knowledge, but I feel like they follow rules and
Yeah,
they're like,
yeah. But even like not even using South Korea, but it's a lot of other countries that have done way better than us.
yeah,
So it's like it's just we really can't be on the same page. Like we and I,
yeah,
you know, it starts with leadership. It's like we don't have great leadership, so there we weren't capable of being on the same page.
yeah.
And it's like, and actually, people are doing the best they can.
Right.
And it's like you got all these charities and these organizations, and people are stepping up. It's like so the people are actually stepping up more than the government.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it's
Magic, it's so good to talk to you.
yeah, good to talk to you too. My phone is about to die,
All right. I'll
but
probably
yeah.
see you tomorrow, I guess.
Are you gonna come through? It's 12 to 3. Um,
I have to come later because I have something to do in the morning, but I want
okay.
to down at least help support.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Well, great talking to you too.
But yeah, this is
Yeah.
better
And
than,
have what's up?
better than typing.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad you switched it up because
I just
and it's easier than like I don't have to read like what did she put? So, yeah, all right. Well, good talking to you. Get some rest. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, cool. We'll see you. Bye.
All right. Oh, it's done.